Hi everyone, today I'm going to make the butterscotch I promised you. I've got all the ingredients and all the equipment. It should take you about 45 minutes to make, unless you're like me and you make an absolute mess of the kitchen, but I'm not going to show you that. Any problems, any questions, queries, just post them in the Facebook page. Thank you very much, see you soon. So to make butterscotch we need to use wooden spoon, big heavy based pan, at least 24 inches, but you want as tall as possible because it does grow. You need a baking tray because that's what you're going to put it in at the end, or you can use a plastic tub or like a thinner tray. It's completely up to you. Sugar thermometer if you've got one, measuring jug and weighing scales. Okay, so ingredients that you're going to need: 450 grams of demarara or light brown sugar, 180 mils of cold water, a teaspoon of white vinegar or cream of tartar, half a teaspoon of that if you've got that, 120 grams of butter, preferably unsalted, but you can use salted if you want because this is a really sweet thing, and you want 60 mils of British cream, or it's about, hang on, 4 of these tablespoons. Yeah, see? Or you can just use your own tablespoons, that would be fine as well. Okay, so I've poured in the sugar and the water, and you're going to heat it on a low heat, don't know if you can see that, until the sugar dissolves. You can move it around at this point because you're trying to make sure it doesn't catch. That's why I quite like the big pans. So you see like that. At the moment you can see all the sugar in it. And what we're going to do is we're going to melt all that sugar so that it doesn't burn, which is why you do it really low. If you do this on a high heat, you will burn the sugar, burn all of your sweets, and you'll have to start all over again. You're going to keep doing this very gently on a very gentle heat until all of those granules dissolve. Okay, so as you can see, there's no longer any sugar grains, like this, in the actual, and you can hear it in the bottom as well. There's no grains in the bottom. You hear that? So now we can turn it up and start to bring it to a boil. This is so much easier on gas. Just be aware on electric that it takes a while for turn up and turn down. Once it starts to boil, you can't stir it anymore because it'll make your butterscotch really grainy. So at this point is when you throw in either your half teaspoon of cream of tartar, or the vintage way was a teaspoon of white vinegar. And what that means is, just going to bind that a little bit, what that means is later on when we do need to start stirring it, when we add the butter and the cream, it won't make your butterscotch grainy. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it to a boil, and we're going to keep it on a kind of a simmering boil for about 20 to 30 minutes. As you can see, this is starting to bubble around there. Now it's really important to remember that not to stir it at this point, because stirring makes it grainy. If you do have a sugar thermometer, you're aiming for about 150 degrees C, which, let's see, so we'll make sure this is on C. You hold it in, try not to touch the bottom of the pan because then you'll just be like measuring the temperature of your pan and not the sauce. But you can see how it's growing, and what will happen is it'll stop going up after a little bit and you'll be like, oh, this is taking forever, but it goes really, really slow and then it goes really, really quick. So we're at 107 now, we've got another 40 degrees to go before we add the butter and the cream. So just turn that off for a minute. You see on the edges? You can see how it's bubbling up some more now. Let's see where we're up to. I would suggest while you're doing this, keeping the thermometer in all the time. But you can see how much it's risen from how that little bit was in the bottom of the pan. And we've still got a ways to go yet. This doesn't happen in minutes. This is literally 20 minutes worth. But I am not making the video that long. Because, you know, watch pop never boils. So there are different stages to making sugar. We're aiming for hard crack stage today, about 150 degrees, and as you can see there's like a 9-degree difference to get that. So once you get to 146, that's like the softer end of hard crack. Difference between the temperatures are really tight. So if you look at, for instance, soft crack is 143. So between 143 and 140, you've got a 3-degree difference in those type of sweets. Our sugar at the moment is, let's see how it's all those bubbles have come together. We're now at 123. We're just going between hardball and soft crack at the moment. Hardball is 122 to 130 degrees, and soft crack starts at 132. So you can see we're coming up to soft crack right now. And it's just the different textures of the sweet more than anything else. So for example, you'll get softball is around your fudgy kind of thing. Toffees and things like that will come around the firm ball. Butterscotch toffees, they're a lot higher. So you can see how it's gone, this lovely dark colour here. We're getting really close to the temperature that we want now. So see it's shooting up, 33. Now when it gets to the desired amount, so between 146 and 154, like I said, we're aiming for just under the 150 mark today. Turn it off the heat and stir in your milk and your butter. Once it's combined, pour it straight into your prepared tray, because it's going to start to cool quite quickly and it will make it quite difficult to work with after a bit. And then you're just going to leave it to cool. I've pre-prepared my tray. I've put some Greaseproof paper on it because I really like that, and it's easier to get it out of the pan later. But here we go, 140. It is tempting because it does take a while to do it, to think that like your thermometer's broken, or you know it's just not working anymore, because you see mine's bouncing around. But that's because of the chemical effect that you get. So as the sugar melts and slowly explodes, that's how you get a boost in temperature rise. So I've added in the milk, the butter and the cream, and it goes really fizzy and makes a lot of noise, but can you see how smooth and creamy it's going? So what we're going to do is I'm going to keep stirring that until all the butter's melted, and then as soon as that happens I'm going to pour it into the tray. Don't be scared to stir it quite vigorously at this stage, because you want to make sure all that butter and cream has properly melted in, and then you're going to put it into your tray. And there you have it, final done. This will start to cool now, and in a couple of hours it'll be ready to portion up, share among your household, and have something sweet to enjoy while you're stuck indoors. Stay safe and stay well, everybody.